Hello guys, it's Krisha again, and I've heard that from 19th June to 3rd June we are also having a lot of shifts for English. So today's video is like a question paper analysis of all the previous shifts and like a mini crash course one shot video kind of a thing. So if you are like going for a final revision for English, or you're going to give your exam and you're watching this video that time, this is like some basic rules that you need to remember before giving your English paper. And so it's everything mixed up in one place, so that is what we'll be getting into in today's video. So let's get into it. So first of all, after listening to what other people had to say about what the students were saying about the different shifts of English, what I found out is that as I was putting so much emphasis on reading comprehension, this time reading comprehension has been fairly simple. So like for example, in my time the reading comprehension was more difficult than the rest of the sections of the English paper, but this time the reading comprehension is pretty easy. So even if you read the questions and answer, it would be okay. That is how it has been in the other shifts. But just because it has been easy in other shifts does not mean that it will be easy for you as well. So make sure you have a good analyzing speed when doing your reading comprehension. And apart from that, I don't think you need anything else for the reading comprehension. Make sure that you use your presence of mind and solve the reading comprehension questions, because they should not be that difficult. Now moving on to the other section, we have phrasal verbs, idioms and things like this. So what I have observed is that in many of the shifts, these kind of questions like phrasal verbs, idioms, adjectives and things like these, they are coming in match the following type wala question. So the trick to solving all the match the following questions is the elimination method, and this is like a method that you should use for all your questions in English especially. So that is how you can solve these kind of questions. For example, phrasal verbs mein you have a sentence and maybe you have options like, for example, you get a dash and then you have options like ran into, ran out of, ran through it. So you should, even though the main word is given, which is ran, you should know the meaning of all the other words like into, out, through, and which of the following gets fit into that sentence. So you will have to just do an elimination method, like हर word को उस sentence में put करना पड़ेगा, हर phrasal verb को उस sentence में put करना पड़ेगा, and that is how you can understand which verbs to use and which to not use. So that is how you can solve the phrasal verbs wala question. And phrasal verbs is very important, 100%. उसके बहुत सारे questions आ रहे हैं, so make sure you prepare well for it. So this is what you should keep in mind when you're doing questions of phrasal verbs. Then we have idioms next. So in idioms, once again, elimination method. Most of the idioms will be common. If you have not heard about it, then just attach the words in the idioms to its meanings and you can find it out by that. So elimination method will work great for it as well, so make sure you do it. And mostly idioms match the following mein aate, so it's not a big concern. Match the following is pretty easy every time, so you guys will be able to tackle match the following. So that is what you should do for these. Alright, moving on to the next. So I've written down a lot of things. So the next in the list is voice conversions, figure of speech conversions and all of these. So for figure of speech, the questions that are coming the most are about personification, hyperbole, metaphor, similes, things like that. So make sure you know everything about it, and they're fairly easy. The only thing that you need to remember for figure of speech conversions is tenses. Make sure your tenses are you are thorough with your tenses and the basic rules for your tenses. For example, have and has, so it will get converted to had and things like that. So present tense, past tense, future participle and all of that, you should be clear with that for your speech conversions and it will be easy. So whenever you're going to give your exam, just make sure you have like a final read through of the rules of tenses and it will be very easy. So that is how you can do like your speech conversions. Again, elimination method, क्योंकि most of the options will be like एक दो में तो grammar error होगा, so it will be grammatically wrong. But for the other two options, which are usually similar, two options are usually the most similar. One of it would have a wrong tense, but it would sound grammatically correct, and the other would be correct with the grammar also intact. So make sure you choose that option. So you have to keep in mind the rules of tenses. Then voice conversions, which is active voice to active voice. Again, in this you need to keep in mind the things that change the verb, the subject and things like that. So you need to have your rules in place, and I'm sure by now it will be done. And if it's not, don't worry, you just have to give all the rules a read from Google or anything else, and make sure your tenses are in place and you will be good to go. These type of questions people should aim for full in this, because people don't usually lose a lot of marks in this and match the following. So you will be pretty good to go with voice conversion, figure of speech wale questions, phrasal verbs and idioms. Reading comprehension also we are done with. Now the main problem that everyone has been facing is vocabulary. So vocabulary has been a problem for every shift. So all the students in different shifts were talking about how vocabulary has been an issue, and no matter how much you prepare for vocabulary, it never seems to, you know, just be in the place. So for this type of thing, what you can do is, of course, you can't memorize the meaning of every word in the world. There's so many words. So one thing that you should keep in mind is the logic of having a root word and then having a suffix and a prefix. So what I mean by root word, suffix and prefix is, for example, I'll give an example. So you have two root words, bene and mele. Bene means positive and mele means negative. This is something my English teacher used to say. So bene means positive and mele means negative. So it is very understandable and logical only that benevolent means something positive and malevolent being something negative. So if you are thorough with root words like these, you will be able to understand the meaning of all the, you know, words that come along with the root word. So any prefix or suffix which is attached to this root word would emulate the root word's original meaning. So make sure you think like that. For example, you have the word hyper. Hyper से बहुत सारे words बन सकते हैं. For example, you have hyperventilate, hyperfixation, and anything that has the word hyper in it means excessive. So things like this you should remember. So most of the basic root words, make sure you know their meanings, and once you're thorough with their meanings, you will be able to understand the meaning of any prefix and suffix that comes along with it. For example, the word superfluous. Now if you know the meaning of super से कितने सारे words बनते हैं, you would automatically understand the meaning of superfluous from the options that are given. And once again, you need to use the elimination method. It will be very easy to do that. Next, you have rearranging the sentences. A lot of people told me that I saw some comments talking about how rearranging the sentences has been pretty difficult and how to master them. Now for rearranging the sentences, what you need to do is, this is a section where everyone should get full marks, because rearranging the sentence is usually somewhere where people don't lag, because it's fairly simple than all the other sections. For rearranging the sentences, what you should keep in mind is your article, subject and your verbs, right? So for example, बहुत सारे options दिए हुए हैं, and for example one option ends with an, so you know the next thing that will come after this phrase is supposed to start with a vowel or something that sounds like a vowel, right? So and you have to see which of the options fits with that phrase and then put it into action. So basically you need to identify the subject when a sentence is given. The subject is the main thing, right? किसके बारे में बात हो रही है, on whom is the action being taken on. So you need to know the subject and the object, and once you're clear with that, you will be good to go. So once you identify the subject and the object, and then you have to understand what action is being done, so उसके basis पे rearranging the sentences becomes, you know, pretty easy. So tricks like this, for example, जैसे an है, so उसके बाद का statement is supposed to be something that starts with a vowel. If you know, it's like a, how do you say, it's the name of a place or something, of course it will either be followed by the or something like this. So make sure all of this, you have to be logical when rearranging the sentences. Everything can sound grammatically correct, but that does not mean it will be grammatically correct. So once again, make sure your rules are in place and you'll be good to go. I think that's it for today's video. This was supposed to be like a one-shot video, so I'm not editing it a lot and putting a lot of cuts. So this was it for today's video. I'll do more one-shot videos for all the other subjects. So all the best for your CUET exam, and you know the drill. Like, share, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.